this is my review. At that time, I was reincarnated as a slime. Okay, so this episode was kind of funny, but also kind of did establish a little bit of story, kind of sort of. So the new recruits, the ogres, have since, I guess, incorporated into the village and have started to develop new ways on how to help them out, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but there is a little scene in here where Shiona has becomes Rimuru's secretary, and Shuna and Shion apparently harbor feelings for him now. Apparently, they develop feelings for him. I'm not entirely sure when that happens, but it's definitely implied and heavily implied at that. So, yeah. And we also learn that Shion can't cook, and this inadvertently causes Gobta to develop the poison resist skill because Rimuru accidentally force feeds him some of Gobta's cooking, some of the cooking into Gobta's mouth. So Shion is like, well, I guess that happened. And because Benamaro and the elderly guy whose name I forget, because they forced Rimuru and basically told him to hang him out to dry and all that, he made Benamaro the supervisor of Shion's cooking. And they all believe that Gobta's dead until he comes back later in the episode, having learned the poison resist skill as a side effect of that. I don't really want to know how that happened, but okay, it's Gobta. So, and it's around this point where Gabiru shows up with his army of lizardmen and basically demands that they serve him and questions whether or not Rimuru is fit to lead because he's just a slime, and completely disses on him and believes them all to be weak goblins until he realizes they're all hobgoblins and ogres or whatever they are now. I'm not entirely sure what race ogres have turned into now. They're definitely not ogres anymore, but I'm not entirely sure. Somebody let me know in the comments. What have the ogres turned into? So, yeah. It's at this point where Gobta, who, as I said, wasn't actually dead and in fact developed the poison resist skill, a skill that even Rimuru doesn't have, shows up, and because he got caught up in the middle of negotiations, because Rimuru had sent out Ranga and tried to negotiate things, Ranga picked up Gobta by the scruff, dropped him in front of Gabiru, and told the two to fight each other. And Rimuru motivates Gobta by telling them that if he wins, he gets a special new weapon, and if he loses, he has to eat more of Shion's cooking, which not only motivates Gobta into giving it his all, but surprisingly or not, depending on if you were expecting Gobta's whole underdog story to be a thing, Gobta not only kicks Gabiru's ass, but also proves that, yes, he is actually pretty strong. And he also is shown to have the shadow movement skill. So he was able to duck inside Gabiru's shadow and then deliver a blow to the back of his head, which knocked him out. And everybody starts celebrating Gobta's victory while Gabiru and his men are forced to flee. Although, before they leave, Rimuru does say that they'll consider Gabiru's offer. And it's at this point where they start preparing for war to go against the Orc Lord and his army of orcs. Until one of the body doubles that was sent out to scout the village from the other guy whose name I don't remember says that he encountered a dryad who are pretty uncommon, apparently. Apparently they haven't been seen in years, and the appearance of one is just suddenly a red flag for a lot of people. Obviously, Rimuru, comparing them to the whole how the dryads are normally female spirits and all that, immediately assumes it's a girl, and they bring her in. And she then makes a blatant request for Rimuru to defeat the Orc Lord. So that's where the episode ends. It's pretty simple. it also propels the plot forward a little bit, and it also shows that yes, Gobta is in fact one of the strongest characters in the entire anime. Maybe, I mean, not on the level of Rimuru by a long shot, because Rimuru is not only invincible but also pretty powerful to boot, able to destroy rocks without even a second thought, and is definitely able to hold his own against an army of higher races. So Rimuru, while the strongest, is only second best to Gobta, who is kind of underwhelming because he still looks like his goblin form and didn't really get an upgrade when he became a hobgoblin, but has learned a skill that enables him to be one of the best fighters out there. I mean, because he was able to defeat a race that I'm assuming is several levels higher than him on the whole monster scale. So definitely Gobta's no slouch. I mean, yeah, he looks kind of derpy and he looks kind of dopey, and a lot of people don't think much of him, including Rimuru, because Rimuru immediately thought that he would get beat up and then everybody would fight over it. But instead, Rimuru wound up being the only one who was surprised by Gobta suddenly becoming really good at fighting. So, you know, Gobta. I mean, I wasn't expecting Gobta to be as powerful, but I expected he was going to win, because as soon as Gobta found out that he would have to eat Shion's cooking if he lost, he immediately goes Super Saiyan mode, and well, I kind of expected him to win at that point. I mean, although Gabiru probably mostly lost because he underestimated Gobta, so I'm assuming that had something to do with it. But yeah, there's going to be a battle with the Orc Lord at some point in the next episode or two. I don't know when. I don't know what the circumstances are going to be, but it's definitely. But a lot of people do suspect in the anime that Gelmud is responsible, I'm assuming he is as well, because Gelmud has been getting around, has been naming a bunch of monsters and making them more powerful, and I'm assuming it, as I said, it did come back to bite him in the ass. But if you guys have seen this episode of That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, what do you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, hit that like and the subscribe button. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also check out my Patreon to help me fund future videos like this one. It's $1 to $20 a month, and each tier gives you a bunch of different rewards and benefits and a whole bunch of other stuff, including a channel shout out if you pledge the highest tier. So if you make content and want a channel shout out, then be sure to check out my Patreon and pledge $20. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace! Oh, I got this.